Adab, Salam, Namaskar. Welcome to New India Education Trust Beyond Classroom Motivational Web Series. Dear friends, in this series, we bring you personalities from different or diversified fields like doctors, engineers, teachers, principals, businessmen. Today, we have a special guest, Dr.Tehseen Khan, with us. She is a doctor in Kuwait, neonatologist. Since 1981, she has been working with Jahra Hospital. So today she's with us. She's also very active in social field, working for the society. She is the president of Indian Women Association Kuwait, which is a registered organization with Indian Embassy. Dr. Tehseen, welcome to this motivational web series.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to you and all the audience watching. I'm really glad I could have this opportunity of talking to your audience.
Welcome. Doctor, mostly our, audience is usually the youngsters, the youth of India, especially those who are living in rural areas. That is the basic purpose of our videos. And we share, success stories of personalities like you with them so that they get motivated. So we would like to listen to you, listen from you about your success story, your journey, your education. If you can just throw some light on that.
Well, you see, reflecting back on my childhood days, my formative days, I have learned a lot of lessons. That's what I feel, So I would like to share those lessons so that people can understand what happens. At that time we don't know, but when reflecting back, you know how important they are. So my childhood, my formative years were in Madurai. It is a small place not small, it is quite big now, next to Chennai. And all my formative years were there. And I studied my school. My schooling was there. And the lessons I learned now when I'm thinking back is, the problems I had during this time. You see, we talk of discrimination and all that. For me, the discrimination was the reverse. Everybody was dark complexion there. I was fair, so I was segregated because of that. They used to think of me as somebody different.
Okay.
That's one lesson I learned at that time. It went through a lot of problems during those early days because, I was not accepted by the other children and I was considered somebody different. That is one thing I realized, and I became extremely shy, so I could not have friends, etc. This is one lesson I learned, but I struggled hard and I overcame those problems. And then my father was a doctor. He was an ENT surgeon, so he was shifting from one place to another. So from Madurai, he came back to Chennai, that was Madras at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I continued my studies there, So in there, I went to an English school. Whereas in Madurai, it was a semi-English school. It was like a government school. So when I came here, again, there was another cultural shock for me. Because everybody was in English school, talking English. And, again, I had to struggle a lot to join into those things. So I learned a lot of buses. I was able to overcome that, I was able to overcome that, and I learned to manage on my own to reach this position. Then my medical college, my post-graduation, all this was again in Chennai. And from there, soon after I finished my post-graduation, I got the opportunity to come to Kuwait.
Doctor, I just have a question. Why did you choose medicine?
Well, you see, my passion is art. I'm a very creative person. I paint, I sculpt, I like acting. I'm very creative. But at that time, during my, 40, 50 years ago, it was not considered a useful thing. This is one more lesson which I learned, We should never put this thing on the children. The children should be allowed to grow and follow their passions. But for me, the situation, my father told me, he was a doctor. Listen, you choose. Because I come from a very, very conservative family. No girls were educated in my family. I'm a Muslim girl. all the girls used to sit at home. Nobody used to go to school. But my father insisted that I have an education. Now, in that situation, if I choose art, you can imagine what career could I have had at that time. You know, I couldn't have. So at that time, I chose. He told me, you have it in front of you. If you want art, you choose. But there's no progress. Where will you go with art? You'll become an art teacher, maximum. And then you'll have to forget about a interesting career. So I chose medicine. And alhamdulillah, I've done well with medicine. Come up. So this is thing also, you know, from my life, when I reflect back, I felt maybe I'd have been an entirely different person if I had chosen something creative.
Your father must have been a big support for you, you know, around 50 years back in Muslim families, sending the daughters for, medical field and all that, and English education, English schools. It must have been tough, for the parents as well.
I'm really proud of my father, and I'm really grateful to my parents, you know, for bringing me out of, and giving me a proper, good education. And I was able to progress.
Yes. And Dr. Tehseen, your husband is also a doctor.
Yes, yes. He is also a doctor. He's a neurologist. He's a head department in Jahra Hospital.
So you moved to Kuwait after the marriage in 1981?
In 1979, we moved to Iraq.
I see.
And for 1 year, we were there in Iraq. And we had to leave because of the war. You know, that is another experience we had because of the war. We were in the middle of the war, actually. We were bombing all around us, and it was in a small place. And I remember those days, you know, I had an infant son with me and my old elderly mother-in-law. And suddenly the war started between Iraq and Iran. And they were bombing all around. Next, just close by, there was a knitting factory. It was bombed suddenly, and we were not used to all this. We ran helter-skelter in the house. I would like to remember that I tried to push my mother-in-law and my infant son under the cot because we didn't know where. We thought the cot will protect them from the bombing.
And then, Dr. Tehseen, I just want to ask a question. You are neonatologist. This is मैं हिंदी स्पीकिंग के जो लोग हैं उनको बताना चाहूँगा कि नियोनेटोलॉजिस्ट वो डॉक्टर होते हैं जो न्यू बॉर्न बच्चों को संभालते हैं और मेरे ख्याल से ऐसे बच्चे होते हैं जो बहुत कमजोर होते हैं और उनको खासतौर से नियोनेटोलॉजिस्ट जो है वो देखता है. तो आपका एज स्पेशलाइज्ड इन दिस फील्ड, व्हाट इज योर एक्सपीरियंस इन कुवैत?
See, most of my learning of neonatology has been in Kuwait. From the beginning, I don't know why God has made me towards neonatology. And newborns का ऐसा होता है कि those babies which are born before, जो पहले मतलब 10 महीने से पहले पैदा हो जाते हैं.
प्रीमैच्योर जी.
और इसके मतलब प्रीमैच्योर बच्चे और आजकल बहुत ज्यादा हो रहे हैं क्योंकि they're having in vitro fertilization. And जब in fertilization करते हैं तो twins, triplets, quadruplets हो जाते हैं. तो the cannot keep all the 4 of them, so they are born premature. पहले तो जब हम लोग आए थे यहाँ पे 7 months, 28 weeks was considered very premature. मगर आजकल तो हम लोग 23 weeks भी देखते हैं.
Okay.
So more and more smaller and smaller babies are surviving. We cannot say that they're surviving intact, but they are surviving. And we try our best to create an atmosphere outside the womb, just like the womb, and then make them thrive.
Yeah, and in these 40 years, from 1981, now it is 2022, there are more facilities in the hospitals. There is advanced medicines are there. Maybe now the survival rate of these, children, premature children, it must be high now, quite high now.
Yes. I mean, I would say that number of the gestational age before even 28, 27 weeks is to not survive. But now there is no question that they will survive. But the smaller ones are also surviving. Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Tehseen, what difference do you see in the Kuwait of 1981 and Kuwait of 2022?
It's advanced a lot, advanced so much, yes. When we came here, but at that time also, like coming from Iraq, Kuwait was like a paradise for us, and it was a wonderful place, but it has progressed and it has really advanced. And we've made such very lasting relationships here. Like my friends and all that have become families in 40 years, more than half of my life I've been here. So they all become my family here, so it's really progressed Kuwait.
And you must be speaking Arabic fluently.
Well, not that much, because our vocabulary is limited to the
Medicine.
patient, medicine and patient and taking histories and all that. Socially, we don't interact that much. It is we have a form of bubble of Indian community, and we stick to our people. So vocabulary is limited to medical field.
Dr. Tehseen, you are the president of Indian Women Association, जो कि इंडियन एम्बेसी में रजिस्टर्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, और आप बहुत सोशली बहुत एक्टिव आप रहती हैं. यू हैव बीन वेरी वेरी एक्टिव डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क. वुड यू टेल अस अबाउट दिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन and the activities of this organization?
Indian Women Association started 23 years ago, and it was started by the then patron, the wife of the ambassador, Mrs. Lalita Nair, 23 years. She started this association with a small group of like-minded ladies. And the main reason why it was started was to help the embassy to repatriate the maids who are not able to go back home. So they were stuck here, the domestic workers. The ladies there used to try to arrange for their sending them back home. This is how it was started, small group, and slowly it has progressed. And then at that time, we used to find children who cannot pay the school fees. So we used to help them to find, maybe about 5 or 6 children were there. Slowly we have progressed, and more projects have evolved. And, like we have found a group of like-minded ladies who, inspire each other. And our main aim is to lend a helping hand. That is our motto and our logo, to lend a helping hand. So whenever is required, we do all humanitarian activities here in Kuwait, community service. We conduct seminars, we conduct, and we meet with other associations, collaborate with them. So that is how we have evolved now. And we have several projects in India as well as in Kuwait.
And like, you said that you have certain projects in India. What kind of projects are there? Or
in India, we have one of the main projects is in called, we have very catchy names for them, many creative names. The one we have in Goa is called Bridge of Hope, where we have adopted a group of HIV affected children. Those children who have been rejected by society. Either the parent have HIV or they themselves have HIV. But, the society has, they come from the slums and have absolutely no income. So we have adopted them along with the presentation society there, and we help their education. We try to find places. Many of the children now have graduated from the...
Oh, that's really great.
Then we have, in Mangalore, we have a project called Chance to Live, where we adopted a group of thalassemic children. Before thalassemia was, like children never used to live beyond 10, 14 years because the medicines were very, very expensive. But they are now able to, because of the help we are giving them, their children are able to have a chance to live a full life. So in Mangalore, we have that. And then we have special needs children in Pune. We have in Udaipur, we have a shelter. We call it Shelter of Solace, where people with, the elderly and mentally retarded people are thrown on the streets. We bring them, and with the help of the ladies there in Udaipur, we look after those ladies and we provide food for them and shelter for them. So these are the few of the projects we have. Even special needs people in Pune, we look after them. So these are the projects in India. And here in Kuwait also we have many projects. And, we have mainly need-based scholarships to provide for children who cannot pay the school fees. And we have another project called Compassion Beyond Borders.
Okay.
Yes, and wherever the disaster strikes or people have, because of disease, because of earthquake, famine, we try to facilitate. People are there in Kuwait who would like to help. We facilitate the helping these type of people, and especially during the COVID, recent this thing we had lockdown, many people had been without foods. We collaborated with the Indian support group, the cultural support group, and we provided food hampers for these people. And also we collaborate with other associations like Indian Doctors Forum is there. So along with them, we arrange for health camps where we look after, especially this domestic workers, drivers. They don't know where to go, especially because of the language barriers. They're not able to reach through the hospitals. So we camp where we call them and we arrange Indian Doctors Forum doctors to come there and look after these people and to give them advice of where to go, how to proceed.
I think that's a big help actually, conducting these medical camps. We have seen, many that IDF is sponsoring, and, many other organizations, they are organizing such camps. It's a big help, especially for those workers, especially those who are working in the domestic area, or even as laborers, they are working. Dr. Tehseen, your whole career has been in Kuwait only. It's more than almost 42 years. And, some time in Iraq. And now, is there any plan to go back to India?
I'm still thinking about it. Maybe we'll go back, because my children are in USA.
They are in US. And yes,
I would like to be part of the family.
Yeah.
And my daughter, my son, both are in USA and they are well settled there. So they're asking us to there and to be with them, and it'll be wonderful to be with my children and with my grandchildren. Yes.
And Kuwait is like home actually. I've seen also that those who come to Kuwait, they fall in love with Kuwait and they don't go away from Kuwait.
Yes, I call it, we are hooked to Kuwait.
That's right.
Yeah, it's become like, it's become like family. The people here have become my family. Yes.
Yeah.
What I wanted to tell you about is the recent thing we have started is, women empowerment for the Indian Women Association.
Okay.
We are concentrating on women empowerment, and recently we had a seminar on, financial security for women and we had a very good online seminar. And then we had another seminar recently about developing leadership skills in women, because you find the number of leaders are less, in takers. And so we had a leadership skills workshop. It was very popular. So I just wanted to miss talking about those things.
That's really very important. Women empowerment is very important, because, they are, half, 50-50%, they share the share of men and women. So they are equal, and naturally the women, they have to be empowered, and then they can surely contribute to their best to the society.
Society.
Yes, of course. Any future plans of especially Indian Women Association that you would like to share with us?
Yes, we want to concentrate on women empowerment, and then, about healthcare for people. And then, we keep on expanding on that, especially, on children and special needs. I really wish we can do more for the expatriate special needs children here in Kuwait, because, the fees are exorbitant in the special needs schools. So we are hoping to help these children who come up in the future.
That's really great. Dr. Tehseen, we are towards the end of our meeting. And I would like you to give a message, especially to the girl children way back in India. You said that, there have been discrimination, but, you came from a family where the father's support was there. You became a doctor, very successful journey you had. And today you are at the peak of your career. You have done exceptionally well in your career. kindly give some advice, some tips to the girls in India, how they should, work and succeed in their life and in their career.
My advice will be to follow your passion. Follow what you feel and not be doing something which you think the other person is doing. And, to follow what you think that is you're made for. You have a passion, you follow that and you stick to that. And don't be afraid and don't give up on things. Sometimes, ups and downs will occur. But always, if you keep up and you remain strong, you will succeed. That is my advice.
That's really a great message. Dr. Tehseen, one part of Dr. Tehseen is a doctor, a medicine doctor, neonatologist. The other side of Dr. Tehseen is an artist. An artist who plays with colors and brush and canvas and all that. Did you have any exhibition of your artwork?
Yes, I've had about 3 exhibitions here in Kuwait, and I have one in Dubai also. And so my passion is painting, and also I do sculpt, and I do modeling and sculpting and multimedia. So I just love color and representing, especially when you see something beautiful, nature and everything, you feel it's going to pass, you want to capture it, I just want to capture it in my memory, so I start painting it. It's like bottling it up in a bottle of perfume so that I can smell it again and again. That is my usual thing.
That's great.
I love colors, the play of colors on people, and also, anything which touches me, like expressions and something which really challenges me. I like to capture it on a canvas.
Kindly send me some of the pictures of your artwork so that I can add, to this video, and the people can see, the other side of Dr. Tehseen as an artist. And thank you for sparing your time that you have been with us. And I'm sure your success story would be inspiring many, many youngsters way back in India as well as in Kuwait. Thank you for your time, Dr. Tehseen.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Okay. So friends, that was our today's special guest, Dr. Tehseen Khan. She is a neonatologist in Jahra Hospital in Kuwait. She is not only a doctor, she is a wonderful person, an artist, who can play with colors and brush. She has made wonderful, wonderful paintings. Those paintings you can see, you can have a view towards the end of this video. I'm sure you will like those paintings. Dear friends, if you like this talk of us, this discussion, this video, kindly share it with your friends and ask your friends, request them to subscribe to this channel, New India Education Trust Beyond Classroom, as this is your own channel. Thank you, shukriya, dhanyavad, have a great time and enjoy these paintings. I'm sure you will love them. Thank you.